Wow, and John did sort of a slow roll on me. It's like okay, I've got this thing that I want to talk to you about, and okay. And first of all, I mean, I'd met John, so we had a lot of interaction, even though it wasn't like really personal stuff. But we'd had a lot of interaction, and I really admired him, and I'm sincere about that. I really admired him because this guy is super smart, ridiculously smart, about much more than just making movies. So that was number one. So I'm fascinated, and I'm saying, okay, those are the kind of people I want to be around and know, so I can maybe like grab something that he's got that I really admire. But anyway, you know, the thing is, when we finally had the meeting about it, and not unlike Pedro tells the story, when you walk into that room, that conference room, and all this art is on the walls, and he is so passionate about it all, and it's all magnificent. I mean, it is some of the most beautiful artwork you could ever see. If you were a collector, you want to go through and take pieces off the wall because it's that beautiful. And then started telling me basically what this was and a little about this character. And it's like, are you kidding me? I'm working on something that Disney is going to be behind. I'm working on something that Jon Favreau is like marshaling through. And I'm working on a Star Wars kind of invention. And then I get a chance to meet Dave Filoni, and now it's like, we're in good hands here. We're in really good hands. So that was my introduction, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
There are a lot of names that you guys have pulled in. I don't want to miss anybody. So Bryce Dallas Howard, Taika Waititi, Dave Filoni. I mean, can you talk a little bit about what their contributions are?
And it's Dave's first time directing live action.
Long overdue.
And Rick Famuyiwa also did a couple for us.
And don't forget Deborah Chow.
And Deb Chow, of course. She's who's going on now to do the Obi-Wan Kenobi show.
She's a powerhouse.
So she came into story. So this is really, you're going to see, I think, a lot of people that are working in this incubator of story and technology and Star, you know, really people who got together because they love Star Wars, and this, I think, enthusiasm that seems to be very contagious, not just with the people on the couch here, but the artwork he's talking about. You know, that's Doug Chang, who's been part of a lot of people who came up through the ranks over the years since the prequels, and all of them slowly, like Tom Sawyer, coming together to paint the fence. And there's this real enthusiasm that's very organic as we're telling the stories, and it's a very collaborative environment. You know, we talk a lot about story, and I write most of it, but that's just a jumping off point for the directors to be very involved and very collaborative, and all the people who are involved, whether it's ILM or Lucasfilm or within the cast or Mandalorian, and so it becomes this really fun collaborative thing that takes on its own life and own personality. And I think you'll see with each of the directors, unlike a lot of television, the directors are really being given an opportunity to have authorship over it as though it were a film. So it's been very exciting for us to have that kind of environment to come to work to every day.
Yeah, and John, you posted a photo of George Lucas and yourself on set. Can you talk about that experience? Who was on set that day? What'd you talk about?
Carl was there that day. I think Gina was there that day. I know for sure this guy was there because I met Dave because I was up at the ranch mixing Iron Man, and he was secretly working with George on Clone Wars before anybody had ever heard of it. And I showed him Iron Man. He showed me Clone Wars. I was like, if you ever need a voice on this, I'd love to do it, which turned into me playing a Mandalorian named Pre Vizsla on his show. But what's so nice is that George had worked with him for, what, 10 years?
Almost, yeah, 8 to 10 years.
And so they had worked together. So a lot of what's wonderful about working with Dave is that continuity of vision.
This has been a real special thing for me. It's something that doing live action, I became interested in it from working with George, and the way that he talked about how we should shoot Clone Wars, and he would always speak in live action terms. So the terminology was always around me, and I didn't always understand how to apply it. Over the years, though, I got a little better with it, and he's so steeped in technology, George, and pushing technology, previs systems, stuff like that on Clone Wars, that it just became a part of the language of filmmaking for me as well. And working with John is really natural. It kind of continues that because he's very forward-thinking with technology and using tools to help enable greater storytelling. And I saw that, in Jungle Book, just incredibly, so very inspirationally, and with the work that he's done in Lion King and whatnot. So for me, it was a great opportunity to work with somebody that kind of works in a similar vein, but I could really be challenged. And John has challenged me, I will say that, creatively, storytelling-wise. And you need that sharpening. You need to improve and continue a legacy of, frankly, being mentored. I see it as very Star Wars, this whole path for me.